On the Queens side of the Pulaski Bridge, the field makes a sharp left on Jackson Avenue before turning right on Vernon Boulevard. It's now a two-person race as Paula Radcliffe and Ludmila Petrova cross the Harlem River, heading back into Manhattan. Paula looks fantastic, running with a smooth and steady gait, whereas Petrova is shaking her arms here, trying to loosen up and keep circulation going. And now, coming off the bridge on Fifth Avenue, Paula is really putting on the pressure, forcing Petrova to answer. Back on First Avenue at 30 kilometers, Gomez dos Santos has pulled ahead of Abderrahim Goumri. Kenyans Paul Tergat and Daniel Rono chase the pair toward the Bronx. Farther ahead, Gomez and Goumri are pulling away. With the men's and women's races taking shape, let's look back at the race week activities that preceded today's marathon. Beginning Thursday, runners converged on the Jacob Javits Center for the ING New York City Marathon Expo. All participants visited the expo to obtain their race packets, which include their bib and timing chip. In the main hall, the runners can purchase the latest running gear and souvenirs to commemorate their experience. On Saturday morning, the New York Roadrunners held its annual International Friendship Run, which begins at the United Nations and ends in Central Park. This 3-mile fun run unites people from around the world in a celebration of our common humanity. On Saturday evening, Barilla hosted the Marathon Eve dinner, where carbo-hungry runners consumed more than 3 tons of pasta and other healthy foods. After this all-you-can-eat dinner, a fireworks display lit up the sky over Central Park. Welcome back to the 39th ING New York City Marathon, where Paula Radcliffe is pulled away from Ludmila Petrova on Fifth Avenue in mile 22. Passing Marcus Garvey Park, Paula's in overdrive. She's just thrown down a 5:12 mile, her fastest of the day. That's likely too much for Petrova, who's now disappeared from view. Over on the Queensboro Bridge, masses of runners are now crossing the East River into Manhattan. Exiting the bridge, the course curves back around and up First Avenue for a 4-mile romp to the Bronx. This is where the party begins. Spectators, sometimes 10 deep on the sidewalk, welcome runners with vociferous cheers. Running on Central Park South, Paula Radcliffe is in cruise control. At Columbus Circle, she turns back into the park, down the walkway, and onto West Drive. With 400 yards to go, she can see the finish line. Paula Radcliffe, the 34-year-old from Great Britain, has won the ING New York City Marathon for the 3rd time, finishing in 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 56 seconds. And she joins legendary Greta Weitz as the only woman to win 3 or more New York titles. And now, almost 2 full minutes back, it's Ludmila Petrova, the 40-year-old from Russia with a time of 2:25:43, a Masters world record. Finishing 3rd is Kara Goucher, the first American to stand on the podium here in 14 years and in an American debut record. With the women's race concluded, let's go back to the men, where Abderrahim Goumri has opened an 8-second lead on Marilyn Gomez dos Santos. Inside Central Park, Goumri is charging ahead. He's got to believe this is his race. But wait, turning onto Central Park South, it looks like Gomez is charging up from behind. Yes, the Brazilian has found renewed strength. Gomez has just blown by Goumri, who appears to be totally out of gas. Gomez must be thinking, this is way too easy. 2 years ago, he made his move at 20 miles, a move none of the Africans respected until it was too late. But here he is again, and this time it's no fluke. Lightning can strike twice. Gomez is turning into the park at Columbus Circle. There must be pandemonium back in Brazil where the race is being carried live. With 400 yards to go, Gomez has a 20-second lead. The 31-year-old from Sao Paulo is smiling and raising his arms in victory. Marilson Gomez de Santos is the ING New York City Marathon champion for the second time. He finishes impressively in 2 hours, 8 minutes, 43 seconds. A dejected Abderrahim Goumri finishes second again in 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 7 seconds. After taking a well-deserved victory lap, Gomez is greeted by his wife, Juliana. And here finally Daniel Rono of Kenya finishing third. Although the champions have been crowned, the 39th ING New York City Marathon is far from over. Up in the Bronx, the Madison Avenue Bridge is swarming with runners returning to Manhattan. Here at 21 miles, the field is pressing ahead. At the bottom of the ramp, runners swing into Harlem, heading south on Fifth Avenue. Down in Central Park, masses of runners are winding their way south on East Drive. After running 23 miles, mostly through concrete corridors, the park, now bathed in its autumn colors, is a welcome relief. Central Park is an 840-acre haven in the urban jungle of Manhattan. The park, which opened in 1873, hosts about 25 million visitors annually. At 24 miles, the course passes behind the Met and alongside Cleopatra's Needle. At 40 kilometers, most runners realize they'll finish the marathon. A great accomplishment since almost half are first-time marathoners who've never run this far before.